They call it the hour of the wolf. Stay with us if you dare. There's a time when the world is at its quietest, when shadows stretch long and sleep is just out of reach. It's the hour of restless souls, of whispered stories, of thoughts too much for the daylight. Welcome to Hour of the Wolf, where we dive into the stories that keep you awake.
We're the renegades with beards on our chin. Luwy and Darren, where do we begin? Broadcasting loud from the midnight den. Hour of the Wolf, we strike again.
When hearts beat and the wolves prowl. The family, the community, the truths about being in a wolf pack. Stay with us if you dare. They call it the hour of the wolf.
We're the chosen ones. Join the pack, howl at the moon. Voices roar, breaking through gloom. Hour of the Wolf, we own this room. Tune in now, hear the sonic boom.
We're back, chat. We are
Hello,
back.
hello. Full house today. A lot of
Full
people
house.
showing up.
Yeah, we got 18 people in watching already. How's it going, everybody?
Thank you for tuning in, guys.
Yeah. How was your past couple weekends here, Darren?
Not too bad. Haven't done a hell of a lot. I did a haunted house last week. Went down to the Sheboygan Asylum. You remember that?
Yeah. How was that fun?
Yeah, they put on a pretty good haunted house down there. Actually, they do. One thing that it's more old school, so it's kind of like they don't have all the special effects. It's just a lot of jump scares and stuff like that. I would say, which I found interesting, I'd say probably 75 to 80% of the actors were female too.
I'll bet it is.
Yeah, and they're creepier. Women are just creepier by nature. So no offense, but you really are when you dress up and put makeup on. And
Hey, Jamie. He was talking about you. Just kidding. Oh, man. Yeah, it's been a good relaxing weekend on my end, too, or a couple weekends on my end. Last weekend I was on call, so didn't really do too much. Just kind of hung out, watched Packers, lived the dream. That was a high 2 weeks ago, living up here. Then this week we're back down to here.
right back down. Down.
Broke my heart this weekend, man. I don't get it. I just don't. At least I had the Badgers. You know how bad of a weekend it would have been if I had the Badgers, too? Unreal.
The Dodgers won the World Series, so that was a downer too. So
Yeah. But it was a fun Game 7. I watched some of it.
that was a good Game 7. I did watch that too. That was a
I'm
good.
happy. I'm happy I went to Game 7.
Did you see Geddy Lee behind home plate from Rush?
No, I guess I didn't even notice.
Yeah, he was sitting just behind home plate off to the left with his grandson apparently.
Awesome. Did you see that Geddy Lee donated a bunch of his baseball stuff to the Negro Leagues? The
No.
Negro League Hall of Fame?
No.
So Geddy Lee is a huge baseball fan. And he has a giant baseball collection. And he donated like a big portion of his baseball collection. Which he's been on Dan Patrick for this thing. It's humongous. Like he has a huge baseball collection. And he donated a bunch of it to the Negro Leagues Hall of Fame. But yeah, Rush is touring again. I'm sure everybody's seen that.
We got Scotland in the house tonight.
Yeah, we're growing.
Wow. This web really does go worldwide, doesn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, it goes all the way to all the way to Scotland and
All the way to Scotland. It probably stops somewhere around there. It can't go much further. I mean,
we're gonna
daylight savings time today. This sucks. What a stupid idea.
I kind of like it. I got up at 5:30, like just ready to go.
I'm out running. I'm cooking dinner on the Blackstone, and it's dark already. It's 4:15, and it's starting to get dark. Then you got to go out and clean the grill, and it's pitch black.
Yeah. Speaking of this weekend, I was really kicking around maybe going to Broadhead for their haunted house
Halloween?
this week. Yeah, I thought about it. I just me and
They had?
Casey's. Yeah, they had one. They had
No, yeah, and they sounded like they had. I think I read they had 300-400 trick or treaters come through there too.
yeah, good for them. Those are great people there, Broadhead Manor.
Certainly are.
And they had a great couple hosts there to walk them through, show them because they did the open house too for the museum they got. So they had a great couple hosts. So it seems like there's a lot of people there to help out. So happy.
Yeah, Ron has finished a lot of new mannequins down there. It looks like I saw Gene Simmons was done.
Yeah, Gene Simmons is done. He has his Kiss Army thing up to now.
Yep. What else did I see? I saw the big goat thing from Labyrinth or whatever that thing is. I see he finished that one too.
Yeah, there's our source. It was a blast that brought it this weekend. That's awesome, Jamie.
We got California in the house. We got Scotland in the house. We got Wisconsin. I think I saw Louisiana down there. I saw Alabama earlier.
Yeah, everybody in the house.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you for coming in. We got a really good show tonight.
Hey, chat,
Really
before we get everything going, we do have a giveaway. The giveaway is going to be as normal. It's going to be hashtag Bearded Death. And you're going to win your fair share of whatever, it's going to be oil or and a t-shirt. So make sure to hashtag Bearded Death.
Because this episode is powered by Bearded Death, the beard care and apparel brand that keeps your face fierce and your style deadly. Whether you're rocking a rugged mane or just starting your journey, Bearded Death has the oils, bombs, and gears to keep you looking legendary. Check them out at beardeddeath.com. That's beardeddeath.com.
And we're also...
That was just off the top of my head. I came up with that.
And also, we're bringing on another affiliate, too. That's going to be our friends over at Metalhead Outdoors. And if you guys haven't ever checked these guys out, I will pull up their website because he has some pretty cool stuff on his end, too. And he just took over this business. He's super responsive guy. If I can share my screen quick.
Some very unusual hunting clothing.
Oh, it's awesome though.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so you got all sorts of. You see that? You can see that, right?
No, I don't know. You're doing something? Hey, there you go.
There we go. Yeah, so if you guys want to check out our good friends over at Metalhead Outdoors, they have all sorts of cool camouflage, like kind of metal themed. So they don't have just camel, they have regular apparel. I'll just pull up a shirt for you guys. Yeah, so you got like the metal theme, skull, shooting skull ducks. Pretty awesome. So yeah, they're happy to have them on board with us.
But tonight we have author Scott E. Bowser, based out of Wisconsin here. Scott has written a number of books, 3 of which based off of Ed Gein himself, the Plainfield Ghoul. He's written a couple other books. I think one about the Waushara County Jail, and another one about some haunted history books, Blood in the Heartland, and a couple other ones. But Scott E. Bowser, let's bring him in.
How's it going, Scott?
Hello. Good evening, guys.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Good to be here.
So I imagine this has been a busy month for you. I know we have talked a little bit about what is popular in Hollywood right now, and I know you have some strong opinions on it. But I'd imagine this has been a whirlwind month or whatever it's been since that's been released, answering questions and talking about it in general. So
Yeah, it definitely has. I mean, book sales are off the charts this month, and tours, and yeah, been really busy, especially for the people of Plainfield.
Yeah, I bet Plainfield has been.
They're going nuts. I watch her stuff on Facebook, and there's a lot of stuff going on around there. People aren't happy.
So let's get the elephant out of the room first of all. Let's touch on the show. What did you think of the show? Authoring 3 books about Ed Gein, living in the area that he's from or that he was in. What did you think of that show, The Monster on Netflix? Your opinion?
It absolutely sucked. It wasn't even close to anything real. I mean, the only thing that I seen that was accurate is the year and make of his car. The color was perfect. The truck was there, except it was green. But and the part where he was on top of Augusta's gravesite, where he got down a cement slab, that's true. But other than that, there was nothing accurate in the whole show.
No.
I mean, I shut it off after 4 episodes. I couldn't take it.
They strayed that far.
Yeah, I will not go any further than that.
No,
I regret watching it.
I believe that.
Yep. Nobody's ever said anything good about it yet that I've known. So, not good.
So
Up to the hype.
So then, if people watch because I'm sure a lot of people watched the show and took it verbatim for what is happening. Obviously, what is even taking the show out of the equation, what is the biggest misconception about Ed Gein overall? I mean, what do you hear? What do people always assume? What's the biggest misconception about Ed Gein that people don't normally carry with them?
For one, he didn't kill Henry in the barn. He didn't fantasize about Elsie Coke. He knew about her. Yeah, he did study about her. That's how he got his idea about doing stuff with the human body parts. But it was just ridiculous. I mean, nothing else was that accurate. I mean, I don't even know if I can comment on it. It was just depressing watching it. I mean, if you're a horror buff, yeah, it'd probably be a good show for you to watch. But if you're a historian like I am, yeah.
Now, if I remember right, he killed Henry in the woods.
Yeah, actually, he killed Henry, or like speculate he killed Henry on Henry's land, not on Ed's land. Right down past the Gein farm, down the right-hand side of the road before the stop sign, there's land that Henry owned. And that's where they're fighting the brush fire by the creek.
Okay.
And that's where they found him.
So why did they not take the investigation further, do you think, into that?
I don't think they had the technology at the time to do it. I mean, yeah, he had a knot on his forehead, not the back like in the show, but they just didn't have anything, the CSI to do that type of work. So he got away with it. You know, there's no proof that he did it, but we pretty much know he did. So
you're actually, go ahead, Louis.
So you think it's just more of an indictment on what county is that?
that's Washera.
So you think it was more of like an indictment at the time? Obviously, it's a smaller county. Like I'm from Vernon County, so we're a very small community. Do you think Washera County just at the time just didn't have the resources to follow up with it, or because this probably wasn't a statewide investigation during the forest fire, something that was probably handled locally?
That's a good point, because Ed Gein, we know he killed Bernice Warden. We know for a fact he killed Mary Hogan. And the fact of the matter was he was only charged with Bernice Warden's murder because, they had this Mary Hogan's face mask for when they went inside the house, but they didn't have the funds to charge him for it. So you're probably correct. They didn't have the funds to go after with Henry.
So you are actually in that general area of the state. That you actually live in that general area.
I'm about 25 minutes out of Plainfield, so I go through quite a bit actually going to Watoma. I go through at least once a month. So when I stop and say hi and see how the tombstone is and stuff.
So why Ed? Why did you start writing? What fascinated you to even begin writing about Gein himself in the first place?
I used to drive semi coast to coast, and I was down south a lot, and I really got into Bonnie and Clyde. I was really into true crime. I studied them a lot. And once I decided to come to Wisconsin Rapids, I got a job driving locally. And I go through Plainfield at least once, twice a month. And I got into the Ed Gein thing, and it became an obsession. And I just started studying, taking notes. And I finally stopped at the cemetery, found all the plots, and the rest is history.
The rest took off.
Took it over. I mean, I didn't really plan on writing books, but when I went to meet Lori at the O'Share Historical Museum, she said I should write a book, and I was like, nah, I can't do that. And I went home and I started watching YouTube videos on writing a book, and I just did it.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah. So stuff on Ed Gein just doesn't end. There's always something else to learn. I mean, I just met Bernice Warden's cousin a couple of months ago and gave him a tour. And I actually got 3 photos of Bernice Warden that are uncirculated right now. I thought that was pretty cool talking to him. So, meet a lot of good people.
Is there one thing that really fascinated you the most about Ed, or is this the history with the?
It was the history, like most people think, is why did he do what he did? You know, that's always the big question that I keep hearing. And I don't know if I know it all yet, because everybody keeps blaming his mother. And yeah, she had a little bit to do with it, but I think a lot of it was when he was by himself being a recluse, and when he really got studying about what happened to the Jews. I think he really got into it, and I think that's what made him go over the edge.
So what are some facts in the show that really bothered you? Obviously, I only made 4 episodes, but like, was there like a whole like timeline build up that you didn't enjoy, or?
The one with Bernice Warden, that's why I had to shut it off. I mean, she wasn't like that, no way, shape, or form. She was very religious, and that bothered me so much. That's when I shut it off. And even the part with the girlfriend. I mean, as far as I was concerned, Ed died a virgin. He's never.
Yeah.
No. Those parts bothered me the most. And then when he killed
Is
Ed,
there any partial truth to who might have been her character anyways? Was there a woman interest at any point in time?
No, not that I'm
That
aware
you
of.
know of? No.
No, I mean, Annalyn Watkins, I mean, when she came out and said he was his girlfriend, I'm like, I never heard of that before. I mean, it could just be somebody off the street saying that just for, notoriety. So.
Did you think at least like the character portrayals were good? Like, did you think Charlie Hunnam was a good Ed Gein? I guess like when I first saw the promo of it, I was like, I think they nailed that one. How they decked him out, the plaid and like the hair, like that. I could believe that.
The hair, yeah. The voice, I don't know, kind of close, kind of not. The way he dressed, I'm going to say no. I think Ed was probably the coverall type guy. I mean, when you see Ed walk around outside the jail, he's wearing a black coat. The only thing that was actually his was the hat. The clothes he was wearing was actually donated to the jail for Ed. So, I don't know. I guess Laurie Metcalf was the one actress I liked, the mother.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
I think she did a great job. I think she did better than the lead actor, for sure.
Yeah, she's been good at everything she's been in though.
Yeah.
She was on
Roseanne.
Yeah, Roseanne. Yep.
So you take guests on tours of the areas, correct?
Yeah, I don't advertise yet, but I think I'm going to in the spring. I kind of got feelings about the people in Plainfield. I mean, when we went out there and filmed that show, I was on the Lost Tapes of Ed Gein. We got a lot of slack from the town folk, yelling stuff out the windows of the cars, honking their horns, stopping that we're up to. I mean, they don't want us there, and I respect that, but the history is never going to go away. It's always be related to Plainfield. And so I take people that I trust. I'm not going to let people dig the dirt up, chip away at the headstone. I'm not going to, no. I won't do that. And I tell them that up front.
Now we have a lot of people that watch our show that are paranormal investigators and the like. Do you feel in that general area, is there an aura about that community or about the sites, some of the sites where his home was, or maybe his gravestone? Do you feel, does the air feel heavy there? Do you feel any type of residual, or is that not in your realm and you don't?
Well, that's how I started it. Going there, I'd probably say 80% of my tours are paranormal people.
Okay.
And when I went out there, they'll get their voice boxes out, things like that. I've been out there, people doing seances, burning incense. And when I was back trying to find Mary Hogan's grave, which I believe I found, the very next day I went back with a voice box that I had my own. And I started doing a session there. And actually, the name Mary came across. Eleanor Adams came across, which was a victim. So, yeah, I can feel it around there.
So that's good. Your subject matter is obviously heavy and dark. The dark side history of one of Wisconsin's most notorious men. Do you find yourself at the end of the day, after writing or after doing some more research, how do you separate yourself from that? How do you clear your mind so you don't have to sit and think of the images you've seen and the stuff you've read about? And
when I was doing the book, it didn't really shut off. I'd get up at 4 a.m. and I'd sit in my recliner petting the cat, and I'd just think about what I'm going to do that day to write. And I'd write until 5 o'clock at night, do research. If I got to go somewhere to the grave sites or whatever, that doesn't end. And when I go to bed, I'm still thinking on it. Even after I'm done, it's like, what's next? It seems like it doesn't shut off. I mean, I'm getting messages throughout the day from people asking questions. People on eBay are asking me questions, and it doesn't end. Never gets old talking about Ed.
Do you have plans for more books?
I'm shooting one around in my head right now. I'm debating if I want to do another book or if I want to write an actual screenplay to that first book he got and actually tell the truth.
Okay. Has any of Hollywood's interpretations of Ed not so much nailed what happened, but has anything kind of resonated? You said that was a performance that I could see. You know, you see the Psychos, you see the Silence of the Lambs, you see obviously Texas. Some of these are elaborate Hollywood productions, but does any performance like that kind of ring true? It's like that's something that kind of not maybe hit the nail on the head, but at least portrayed something that.
No.
None.
I've seen them all. It's like, no.
Yeah.
I don't think anybody's going to hit it on the head because nobody knows 100% for sure fact how he was. They just don't. Everything's going to be speculated pretty much.
Okay. That makes sense. I get that.
Yep.
I did see a fact that he was a hoarder too. Is that any truth to that?
Hoarder of what?
Like just a hoarder. Like he's just like a hoarder. Like everything was a mess besides like his mother's room
And he's a slob.
So you have 3 books about Ed himself, correct?
Yes.
You're the Waushara County one. That's not about Ed. That's about the jail itself, correct?
It's both the jail and Ed being there a little bit. There's not a lot because the Waushara jail don't want to be really known a lot for Ed. They're kind of keeping it down because he was housed there for 2 nights and 3 days. And actually, in the museum, they got a wallet Ed Gein actually made, a woman's wallet. They got one of his knives from the auction when the house burnt down. And they got a set of skis and snowshoes that were also Ed owned. And they don't like to advertise, which I get, but they wanted me to write a book for them about the museum. So I did that and about the ghosts that are there, things like that.
Okay.
So
do they have names of the ghosts that are there? I guess first time I'm really hearing about Waushara jail being haunted.
well, we can go with Ed, Augusta, Henry.
Yeah.
Hint. There's Robert and Sally up in the attic. And you got German soldier up in the upper jail that was there during World War II. They had POWs in the jail.
Okay, cool.
And basically, once they were brought back to Germany, a couple of them came back to live here. And the one ghost upstairs, the jail, I actually have a pretty good picture of him. Don't like girls, and he likes to push them down the steps. So they don't allow girls up in the upper jail by themselves.
You have Jamie Lynn is in the Washera book.
Absolutely, because I asked for people to give their ghost experiences at the jail, so I put them in there.
Cool. That's awesome. She's the best.
I've been there with her, so I know her well.
So we had somebody comment just before about checking out your books. Tell everybody where you can find them. Is everything available on Amazon, or what's it?
They're obviously on Amazon. If you want an autographed copy, they're on eBay, but make sure they're mine. Mine are the only ones that are autographed, but there's a lot of them on there for people all over the place. And otherwise, contact me, instant messenger on Facebook, and I'll, PayPal pays for it, and I'll send it out myself. I'll sign it whatever you want. Otherwise, the Washera jail actually has my books there too that are autographed.
Oh,
that's it so far. Barnes & Noble can get them, but I think they got to order them.
Yeah, I know when I was looking, I didn't see it on Barnes & Noble, and then I had reached out to you because I wanted if I could support you directly, I'd much rather do that than going through a second party. So
yeah, appreciate
and
that.
I did. I am 3/4 of the way through this book. I just got it about a week ago.
A lot of work went on the book being the first one. A lot of stuff that's not in other books.
So is this the third? Which in your order? Which book is this? What is this? The newest one? This is the first one. Okay.
That's the best one as far as I'm concerned. I put a lot of effort into that one.
That's the one that gave
information.
That's the one that gave you all the sleepless nights.
Yeah. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yep. And then we got Ken on here. See, we got people. Look at this. We got people that want the books. Bruce City's already got one. His are autographed. Look at that.
He's got everything. He's the best.
He does.
He has everything. He's so. I guess like the Ed Gein lore I have in my area is Ed Gein was originally from the La Crosse area.
Absolutely.
And they did portray that in the show. There's a couple people. I guess I have a teacher. He loved the area when he first moved here because he loved the lore, with Ed Gein. This is something that kind of made him as a English student love the area just because like the lore of Ed Gein. And I asked him about it because I just remembered it from school, and he was just like, he's got it bumped out that it wasn't portrayed in the show that Ed was from the La Crosse, Coon Valley area. He thought they'd be kind of a cool starting point. But so he's from what do they do in the La Crosse area to start out?
Well, they're just him and Henry are just small boys going to school. Henry had different jobs. Like he worked for the town. Water and Light, I do believe it was. Then he went to work at a tannery. Augusta, I'm not 100% sure what she was doing. I think she was more of a homemaker at the time, but toward the end, they bought a grocery store. Used to be Schultz's, I do believe, and call it Ed Gein Mercantile. Everything was in her name because George, being the drunk, kept spending the money all the time. So they went in the store for a little while. Then she decided to go out, and it was Camp Douglas. Now he brought that up, that they lived in before they came to Plainfield.
Okay, that's a little bit away from
that farm there, but it was Camp Douglas. Just remembered that.
Okay.
So what happened to Ed? What happened to Ed's dad?
He died of a heart attack. I do believe he pretty much drank himself to death, and he was
about how old was Ed when that happened? Was he young yet?
Ooh, you're going to test my brain on this one.
Oh, attaboy, Darren.
Oh, he had been an older teenager, I would think.
Okay, so in his teens, maybe?
Yeah, because I think he was, would have to check, but wow, that was a good question. You stumped me on that one.
So then, over the wolf, baby.
So how long of a timeline was there between, and obviously we don't know the exact age, but was there a long timeline that he was alone with his mom? From when his father was gone until until his mom passed, and then until everything started to.
It wasn't long because right after Henry died, Augusta had that stroke. And then after, he nursed her back to health to a certain extent. And then when they went to the neighbor's house to see about the hay, and she seen the neighbor beating the dog, is when she had the other stroke and killed her. So it was actually a little while after that is when he started digging up the bodies, because they went to try to dig up Augusta first. And he went there on numerous occasions, but he couldn't get into the cement vault. But there are some people think he got to her, but no, he did not. He couldn't get into the cement.
No, Ryan, I see your question. This was answered earlier. No, it is not believed that Ed killed his brother in the barn.
Absolutely not.
Nope.
Well, and actually, Ed Gein is buried in a cement vault too. The lady who buried him, I'm trying to find out if she's still alive. Betty Trusky, and she'd be like 89 years old right now. And she and her husband were the ones that buried Ed when he died. And he's in a blue casket, and he's in that. If you ever see a photo of him walking across the parking lot to the courthouse in that suit, that's what he's wearing.
Okay.
And he's buried like 4:00 in the afternoon. Nobody was around, but he is buried at that spot.
I found it not fascinating, but I like that the part in your book when you say when Ed was actually enjoying a pork chop dinner at the time that the police came and arrested him. I guess you'd say arrested him at that time. He was eating a pork chop dinner at a.
No, what happened?
Somebody he did.
He killed Bernice Warden that morning, and Robert Hill went to the house to invite him over for dinner. Ed was outside changing his tires. So basically, Bernice Warden would have been dressed out and everything by then. And they drove back to the house, which is still there. And they heard about a commotion in town, and they went to get Ed's car to go to town. And that's when the cops pulled up behind him and got him. And the car sat in the driveway for like 2 days before they towed it. And the house is still there. Robert Hill died, but his son owns that house yet. And I've not yet to stop to say hi because I don't want to get shot. But it's still there and it's part of the tour.
Huh.
Yeah, question from the audience. Does Scott know where the headstone is?
Yeah.
Ooh, that sounds secretive.
That's the number one question I get every tour. Everybody asks me where the headstone is. Okay. The headstone used to be in Watoma. It was at the police station for a while, the sheriff's department. I went to the museum for a while. Plainfield came and got it because they thought they could take better care of it. Well, Watoma could. Somebody on the Plainfield Cemetery Board has it at their house in Stevens Point right now. And last I heard a few weeks ago is they want to take and bury it on top Ed's cement vault. I don't think it's happening yet because I don't see the ground disturbed. So I'm thinking maybe this spring they'll do it. That's all I know at this point.
Aren't they afraid of the looky doos coming and digging to get that gravestone? If they're, like you said, they're taking chunks of Augusta's headstone. What's going to keep people from wanting to go and dig?
Probably not known for sure it's there. I mean, who's going to know it's there for sure except for the cemetery board?
Yeah.
Or they could just pull him up and dig it underneath them too. But sounds like a lot of work.
I'd like to watch that.
I'm pretty handy with a shovel.
Yeah, but I think it should be returned.
I agree. I think that, yeah. I wish people have more respect for stuff. They like to see it back and remarked, that he is laying there. I think that, I'm not going to say put him to rest, but like, just kind of, if people could be more respectful, maybe just kind of help blow it all over that, Ed Gein is buried there.
Yeah.
It just, because I don't think, what did they ever do with Dahmer? Like, did anybody ever mess with his burial site?
That's a good question.
There's your next book, baby. Got that.
Many. There's so many Dahmer books out there, and I mean the Gein book's really popping out right now on Amazon. When I first started doing my book, I read every single book that was available at the time. Now there's just no point because I know all the stuff, but there's a lot of books.
I can remember, like I told you before the show started, I did 2 different reports on Ed in high school, and that was the late 80s. Yeah, we didn't have the internet, obviously, so I ended up having to find, and our actual school library did have a book on it, which I'm sure this day and age they probably do not have those in the school library anymore. But
I'm debating on attempting that, but I don't know if they would. And I got in a couple local libraries, but I haven't tried the high school yet. I don't know if it'd be appropriate or not.
Yeah, I love this book. I think it's a great book. I think anybody who's looking to, especially, like I said earlier, people get these notions because they see the Hollywood version of it and they think they know, they believe. I mean, I've even heard a couple of people say, I had to Google that right away to see if that was actually true. I had to Google that. It's like, if you want to get, go ahead.
Don't believe everything on Google.
No. Yeah, right. If you want to get the details of how it went down and how it happened, go to a strong source like any one of Scott's books. I know myself, I'm going to get the other 2 because I want to keep reading. What are your other 2? So this is, I know what this one's about. Give us a little rundown of what your 3 books are.
No, first I'm going to do a little shout out to Harold Cheshire. I think that's all his name is. He wrote Deviant. That was the best book I've read. It got me hooked on Ed Gein. So I give him a lot of credit. He was in the same documentary I was, The Lost Tapes of Ed Gein. Man, he's like the main guy for Ed, is Harold.
Okay.
Anyways, my first book gets into the facts of his life, timeline. And the whole purpose of that first book was to talk about the women that he dug up. Because every book I've ever read about Ed Gein does not mention the women and who they were. Because these are real women. They're housewives, members of society. And I wanted to tell their story as much as I could find out. That was the purpose of the book. Okay, the second book, Lori at the Museum wanted me to do because that showed more of the paper clippings from back in the 50s and about Ed. That was an easy book to do. That's a good one. But then the last one I did was the Traveler's Guide, which I put together in no time at all. Because when I went looking for sites, like one of the grave sites, I couldn't get it in GPS. It took me to the back of the cemetery instead of front. That was Heartland. So what I did is I did a turn-by-turn book, how to find these places. And that book sells pretty good.
That explains why Plainfield doesn't like you that much, huh?
Well,
You've given everybody a map of their town.
That ain't that big, but yeah. But we'll see what happens with the next book.
So, what paranormal investigators have you took around for the tours? Anybody like notoriety, or just a lot of local investigators?
Anik Paranormal was the main one I brought around. They actually helped me find one of the headstones while they were there. And we did a couple investigations at the museum with them. I've been there with Dylan more than a couple times, and it's all good. Hopefully we go again soon.
Yeah. Obviously, you have the legend of Jamie Lynn helping you out with stuff too. She's got to be a godsend for you.
God, yes. Yeah, we have lunch every month. We'll go to Watoma and say hi, lunch with Lori, and
go to Hoops and get a case of beer for ride home.
No.
I
get an ice cream for the ride home.
Yeah. That place always cracks me up because we go to obviously we go up through that way from we go to Wausau to my fiance's family's place, and I always see that basketball hoop in the front, being like, "We got to stop at Hoops for like something to drink."
Anybody in the chat have anything else they'd like to throw at Scott? I mean, I've still got more stuff here too, but if anybody in the chat's got anything they'd like to know, feel free to post something up there.
In chat, we got 19 people watching. We only got hashtag beer to death to win our giveaway today. Pop that back up. So hashtag beer to death to win.
There's DJ that comes in right away. What, sir, is your favorite sandwich?
peanut butter and jelly and banana.
And banana. Jeez.
Oh God, yeah. That or liverwurst
There you
Oh,
go.
I like that. I like that.
with ketchup.
With ketchup.
Oh God, yeah.
So I like to do I like to do Braunschweiger with sharp cheddar cheese and a little bit
There you
of
go.
horseradish. That's my
I just do sliced onion. That's it.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's not quite a cannibal sandwich, but it's just as damn good.
Yeah.
Yeah, Ken, this was answered a little bit ago. He does have an idea in brewing for a book right now, I believe.
Expand on that a little bit. There's I Googled what are the top selling horror movies there ever was, and that one was The Exorcist. And I did the same thing with books, and it was The Exorcist. So I'm thinking, if I write a book about a possession, and there's this guy out in England named Michael Taylor, and he was supposedly possessed by several different demons. And when they went to give him an exorcism, they didn't get rid of them all. And that night he went home and tore his wife's face off and dug out her eyes, and then he did the same thing to the dog. And supposedly based on true story, and he only had to go to an insane asylum for a few years, and now he's out and he's still alive.
Wild.
I'm debating on
Wow.
that.
So if you want to do a book about exorcisms, we have a friend of the show, Carl Johnson, who's a demonologist.
Mhm.
He's a very well-spoken guy. He's been on tons of shows. He's season 1 of Ghost Hunters. Very good guy. And his big thing was he was the first person or first group to investigate the house that inspired what became The Conjuring.
Mhm.
So if you ever want to get linked up with somebody, I can link you up with Carl, and you guys can talk. He's a great guy.
Yeah, I can get a hold of that because I got a few questions.
And his brother he's not a priest, but he is a man of God, I guess you could say. He's ordained minister. And they're awesome. The Johnson brothers.
Well, I've always wondered with that Michael Taylor issue, because he was part of some religious thing, but I think it was a cult. And the head lady, I think, was a witch. And everybody thinks that she was the one who put a demon in him.
Ooh.
So is that possible by a witch? And nobody can answer that for me yet.
So
Yeah,
delving
sounds-
into something, do you feel any trepidation or anything about going into a project like that if you decide this is something I want to do? Because this is something that is still, Ed Gein, you're digging into history, you're digging into something in the past, you're talking about a guy now that is still alive. And do you feel any fear, I guess, let's use the word fear, about reading into something like that?
It's debating whether or not I want to do a book about that, or if I want to do the Ed Gein screenplay and make it right. But I don't know how. I got the software to do it. I'm watching YouTube channels how to do it with the software. So I'm not the most techiest person in the world. So that's battling in my head right now. Which one should I do? And then I got the pictures of Bernice Ward, and I just got, how can I get them out there? So that's my winter project. What do I do?
Random out there thing that I just thought of. Have you ever heard of a producer or a director from Wisconsin by the name of Dan Davies? Did a project called Ed Gein the Musical?
Oh God, I don't even know if I want to go there.
Come
I
on.
saw it advertised. I think I got invited once. I was like, I can't. I mean, I'd have to get up and leave during the show. I'm gonna handle it. I think some of it's on YouTube. I just won't click it.
It might be. He had a screening here in Green Bay. I think that was 2 years ago, and I went to see it. I actually won a Stormy Cromer hat.
Stormy Cromer, you got it right.
with the Ed Gein the Musical logo on it. But yeah,
That's
the
cool.
movie was out there. The movie was out there.
So that show, I bet.
He's making it. He's actually talking about making it too. Okay, let me ask you this, because there's apparently an urban legend and he wants to make a second movie for Ed Gein the musical based off this urban legend. And I've never heard this before except for him. Have you ever heard an urban legend about something happening at the hospital where Ed Gein was actually let out of the hospital for an entire weekend? So he wants to base a musical off of Ed Gein's exploits on that weekend in town.
What the hell are you going to call that? Ed Gein's fucking Raumspringer? Jesus Christ.
Weekend at Ed Gein's.
Weekend at Ed Gein's, yeah.
I never heard of that.
No, it's he was just talking about it after the question and answer thing at the end of his show, and I had never heard it either. I was curious if it was. I've never heard that urban legend before.
No, I never heard of him getting out.
I guess I kind of got an out there question too. Like, was there anything like you've learned about Ed going through that like kind of like grossed you out in a sense? Like, you know, like you didn't like the things that you learned as you were going. Like, obviously, you always get the stuff like like making skulls into bowls and stuff like that. Is there anything that like really grossed you out in writing and the stuff that you found?
I don't think grossed me out, but I was going.
I guess you found disturbing in the sense that
the more disturbing part is people thought he was into cannibalism and he wasn't. When I went
that was Dahmer. That was Dahmer's.
Oh, they asked about Ed too because he'd give packs of meat away to his neighbors once in a while. And when they were interviewing Ed through all his court records, psychology notes, all that stuff, I've always found, from what I understand, is Ed never lied. He told them what they wanted to know, and they asked him straight out, "Did you eat any of the meat?" And he said, "No, because the embalming fluid." It also comes to the fact, "Did you ever have sex with the corpse?" And he's no, because they stunk because of the embalming fluid. Now he did try to have sex with Bernice Warden once he got her, but he said he couldn't get an erection. So he never did. But he did try with Bernice. That was probably maybe the girl's part.
Jamie Lynn says it grosses me out thinking of sitting in a chair with a nipple or a nipple on the chair.
Do you think Ed ever found a place of remorse? Do you think he ever?
That's really a good question too. I never thought of that.
Baby Darren, for doing my baby.
I don't think he ever said anything about that. But I know there's another set of lost tapes out there right now that I'm on the track of. Awesome. Maybe he talks about it there.
Because I know I became kind of a big, everybody kind of has like their serial killer that like they go towards. I've really been on this John Wayne Gacy kick, and he never once felt remorse. And I watched a guy who was in the FBI do like a play-by-play of like things that he would say to reporters, like when they come in to interview him, and he would be like, "You see how he picked his hand up and touched his nose, or you see how he turned his head to look at somebody else that he felt was incompetent, to be in that setting with him," because he thought he was, up here the whole time. He thought he was on a pedestal the whole time. He always thought he was the businessman that he was. He always thought he was this big community leader that he was, and he always felt like he, was on a high horse. So he would look at people, lie to them, and like he would break down like what he knew was a lie. That was really fun to watch. So like John Wayne Gacy would he was a master manipulator. What he was known for. Was there anything like that with Ed? Like when he was, like do you think that obviously people know that he was kind of slower and had mental health issues? Do you think he used that to an advantage in a sense too?
I don't think so. But I do got to go back to where he felt remorse. I just remember the time. He, when he dug up Mary Bergstrom, which is right by his other gravesite where he is, he brought when they went to exhume the body to see if Ed was actually digging up bodies, they got just below his surface and they found some body parts. And they asked Ed, why were the body parts? He said he felt remorse and brought them back.
Oh.
Which I thought that's pretty gross. But yeah.
Huh. So he did feel a little bit there.
Yeah, he did say that at that point in time.
So Ed,
I think that's.
Ed Gein died in 1984.
Yes.
Correct?
Yep.
Do you guys remember that? And I was born in 92. Do you guys like remember all that stuff when it happened, like on the news?
I don't remember it.
No.
Nope.
So like,
I was
because you
12.
guys, okay, so you guys are like kind of both in that era though, of like all these things happening, and obviously Darren, you referred to Dahmer. And obviously, you guys probably both remember the Dahmer stuff.
Yep.
Like, how was that depicted as like people at home watching that on TV at the time?
I'm trying to remember the first time I saw. I mean, because by the time Dahmer came about, we had the 24-hour news networks. You know, we had this the whatever the version of CNN was at the time and stuff like that. So there was 24-hour news networks. So I'm assuming it came through there, but I really don't remember the first time stuff like that started to break. You know, we didn't have the internet flowing like it is now. I don't know, period, really. I mean, now you'd have all that stuff breaking news as it's happening. You'd probably, before they even caught the guy, you'd have it posted all over Instagram and everything. But I don't remember the Dahmer stories coming through the news. I just can't remember what they were.
No.
You guys remember any like the Gacy stuff, like when they death penalty stuff with him, or do you guys remember like any of that kind of thing going on?
I remember the Menendez brothers because that one was sensationalized quite a bit. They made that one, you know, to be the marquee type of story because of the whole lore behind it. But the other ones, no, not as much.
Jamie Lynn's got a question.
Yeah.
But the body parts, when the CSI team went in, they took all the body parts to Madison, and they stayed there until 1963, and the federal judge released them. Now, originally, they're going to burn them up, and they decided to return them to Plainfield. So now, back then, they did not have DNA, so they didn't know who was who. And they had we're talking about the bodysuit, arms, legs, whatever, all the face masks. And what they did is they gave them back to Plainfield, and thank you. Then they made a mass grave. So all the body parts are in a mass grave in Plainfield Cemetery. That's where Mary Hogan's face mask and stuff would be. The skin suit, the lampshades, the chair seats, all that stuff are there. So that's the answer to Emily's question. I got to plug in my computer.
So he did do a whole chair then too, correct? Like that.
Yeah, he did the seat of the chair, the lampshades. I mean, he had the vulvas and stuff and a shoebox. All that stuff was returned to Plainfield. And then a mass grave.
And he did do a bodysuit.
Yep, the bodysuit's in there too.
That is wild.
Yeah, all the face masks.
How many face masks did he do? That's
They found 10 skulls, so I would think there would be for sure the 10 masks. Now, kind of get gross here too. In the beginning, Ed took the whole body, and toward the end, he only took he said he twisted off just the heads. Like, how do you twist a head off? But apparently, he said he did it without any tools.
wow. Whoa.
Ed wasn't the biggest guy in the world.
How big was that?
It was what, 5'7".
He's a little guy.
Yeah, he's not too big. Not too big. And how does somebody like that pull a full body out of a casket?
I guess that's when they say you do it carefully, right?
Yeah.
How do you do that carefully?
Yep. So, but he did go out there usually the night of the funeral or the next day when the ground was still fresh, because he took bodies during the winter.
Oh yeah, you want them while they're still warm.
Yeah.
Oh, you want to, I guess you want them too while they're cold too in a barn, right? Because like the old deer hunter thing, you don't want to,
the old deer hunter thing. I can see that was the indelible image that stuck with me from doing a report in high school, was the image of her body dressed and hanging in the barn, and that was you know, with the slice all the way down, dressed just like a deer was. And that was the image that I think that was the part of my report that the teacher did not want me to include in it.
Yeah.
Oh, come on.
Yeah, I don't have that picture in my book either. Can't do it.
So
No.
Ed, was Ed a hunter?
I think in the beginning he was, but toward the end he wasn't.
He was just a robber at the end.
Yeah.
It's kind of wild to me that all this, just like the stuff he did with the bodies, kind of weirds me out.
Yeah. The other difference is that I don't think his land has ever been properly searched for bodies. I just don't, because I know there was a trench alongside the house that he used to throw stuff into, and that's just my.
So
thought.
who owns the property now?
I don't know the guy's name, but I could find it in a heartbeat. He lives in Milwaukee. He only uses the land for hunting. It used to be no trespassing signs all over, but somehow they disappeared. I had a friend who actually met the guy out at the land, and the guy was nice enough. He let him come on to the property and go where the house was and start picking up souvenirs as long as he didn't dig. So now he's got a shrine in his basement of a glass, nails, stuff from the house, cans. So must be nice.
How much land did he get?
Fire?
In that? How much land did the Dahmers own over there in that farm, that little farmstead?
Gein's what was it, 185? Was it? That's pretty
That's
huge.
a big crop. That's a big piece of property. For,
Yeah, I mean, you'd have to see it for me to describe what it is, but yeah, it's huge, and it's kind of like an L-shaped property.
Okay. So, if you were able to get onto that land, do you try to get over like a cadaver dog, or how would you kind of go about that?
I'd love to bring a metal detector and go walking around. That's what I'd like to do. But I heard it's full of wood ticks.
Yeah.
I have an issue with wood ticks. Now we got a question about the house fire.
Oh, started the fire to the house. Yep.
That's a good one.
Oops,
But,
sorry.
Frank Warden, Bernice's son, was the fire chief. He was also a deputy sheriff. And the night of the fire, which I think a bunch of townspeople said it, when they when the fire department was called about the fire, none of the fire trucks started, oddly enough. It just so happens Frank Warden lives right next door to the firehouse. And once they got to the house, it was pretty much gone, and they let it burn anyways. And the next morning, when the sheriff Arthur Schley was there, he ordered to have the house totally taken off its foundation, what was left, brought to the dump and burned until it was totally gone. So nobody's ever going to come forward and say, yeah, we did it. But I'm pretty sure it was Frank Ward and some other townsfolk did it.
It'll be in a nice.
So who was in charge of the auction that they had there before the fire? Who auctioned off all that property?
There was an auction house. I don't know the name of the auction house, but they are still in business, I guess. I don't know a lot about the auction. Another
Do you
question.
have anything?
If I got memorabilia, actually I don't. But my friend up north, Keith, has 2 autographs by Ed up there that he got from a pen pal while he was in Central State. And he won't sell me one.
Some friend. Gee whiz.
So he might come missing some night.
I might Frank Warden him.
No, actually, something happens to him. All of his stuff is going to go to the Watoman Museum.
That'd be cool. I need to get to the museum.
Yeah, you do.
What do they all have there then? Obviously, they
got like theme rooms for like old wedding dresses. They got a tool room from back in the day, and it's a pretty cool place to go through because of the age of the building. Then they got the jail cells with those are all themed. And then you got the Ed Gein cell where he was actually held. And they got a big cardboard cutout of Ed Gein for his actual size, so you can take a photo op with him. You can hold the wallet if you want. You can actually go there and do ghost hunts. Starting up in spring again. You can just contact them. Good place to go. Good investigation.
We should do that next year, Louis.
Yeah, I'm down.
Yeah, let me
It's
know.
your
I'll
field
show
trip.
up.
And a Boy Scout.
Yep.
Yeah.
Right.
I was actually touched up in the attic. Very first time. That was cool.
By Ed?
Yeah.
No, I think it was one of the little kids. I never heard Ed upstairs yet.
But you have heard Ed there.
Yeah, but you got to ask Gus's permission first because she protects him. So
All right. Why would you protect after all that? You're still protecting Ed.
Yeah, he won't come through on his own. You got to ask her first, then he'll come through quick.
That's kind of crazy to me that you guys. That's
It's what it is.
yeah.
Well, I think that brings us up to the top of the hour, Louie. I think if got anything else you want to finish off with, or Scott, you want to finish off with a couple of words, we'll push your books again. Do whatever you.
Anybody wants to check out the books, Amazon, go to eBay for autographed ones. Otherwise, send me an instant message and I'll hook you up that way and go through PayPal. It's all good. Otherwise, they're at the museum.
Excellent. Well, Scott, it has been a pleasure. It's been a joy. Been looking forward to this episode since Louie first booked you on here. Been excited to sit down and have this chat. So we thank you very much for coming on.
Yeah, it's my only podcast past 2 years.
Hey,
Took a break.
we stumped you twice too. Make sure that you never go anymore.
I got to study ahead of time.
You go on anymore, you tell them that Darren from Hour of the Wolf stumped you twice. So
Yeah. Yep, I got stumped.
all righty. Well, thank you very much for coming on, Scott. We're gonna do our giveaway and clock out here. So
Okay, sounds good.
yeah, thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, right.
Scott Bowser, everybody. It's fun.
That was fun.
That was fun.
That was a lot of fun.
All right, so chat. I'm going to give you guys another 30 seconds here-ish to do your hashtag Bearded Death to get into the giveaway.
Good stuff from our number one sponsor over there, Dan over at Bearded Death Skull Pile Apparel. Good stuff, beardeddeath.com. Use our promo code that's streaming across the bottom, Hour of the Wolf 15, and get yourself 15% off. I just got a new batch from him yesterday. I got his Mayhem Pumpkin, or Mayhem. I think it's Mayhem Pumpkin.
Nice.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's good stuff.
I need to get some butter. You keep on telling me to get beard butter from him, and every time I'm like, man.
Yep. I actually bought his beard wash this time too, and it's the first time I've used his style of beard wash. It's almost like a gel. I actually thought something was wrong with it, so I messaged him, but nope, that's absolutely the way it's supposed to be. And I used it this morning, and it lathers up great. So he's got some
Awesome.
amazing product over there. So
Hey, kicks ass, that's for sure. Yeah, and then our new affiliate ship too, Metalhead Outdoors. You can use hashtag Hour of the Wolf 10 to get 10% off anything you buy there. He's
we're coming back in 2 weeks. 2 weeks we have
Gerald
UFC
Mearshart.
fighter Gerald Mearshart. So it should be another fun one.
Yeah, Gerald's a great guy. He was on Pure Steel with me. Yeah, outstanding guy. And he has a fight next weekend, I believe, or he fights on the 15th. So Jared.
So next weekend, the weekend before our podcast with him.
Yep, the weekend before.
Are we in 2 weeks or are we in 3 weeks?
3 weeks.
3 weeks. That's right. We're on
Yep.
the 23rd.
Yep, and that
3 weeks.
he fights on the 15th. So yeah, RBC guys and everybody here at Our Wolf Podcast, make sure to watch UFC on November 15th. We'll watch Gerald and hopefully pull a W out. He's probably gone through a lot. Actually, speaking of Wisconsin legends, I don't know if everybody here seen that Duke Rufus died of Rufus Sport MMA suddenly of a heart attack. But Gerald's a part of that gym, so we'll have to ask him about all that. Memories of Duke. He was a legendary kickboxer. If you guys know who Duke Rufus is, he's a legend in the mixed martial arts game. Trained some of the best fighters out there, too, you could think of, from Ben Askren to Showtime Pettis and his brother Sergio and Dustin Ortiz, all those guys out of the Milwaukee area. So, yeah, rest in peace, Duke Rufus. And, yeah, so I gave
All right,
you
let's
guys
get this drawing underway. Let's give away some stuff.
chat. You ready? 3, 2, 1.
I wish we had a little beeper that sounded like the wheel on Price is Right. Beep, 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 beep.
Christian.
Christian.
I'm trying to think if I have any sound effects I could do.
Well, we don't need to. Oh, look at that. Oh, that's past the Dutch. Dutchie.
Yeah.
It's a Motorhead. Congratulations, Christian. Drop a message to Dan, either in the club chat or in the at the Bearded Death Instagram or Facebook page, and he will get you hooked up with a oil and a shirt.
Heck yeah. Congratulations, Christian. But yeah. How we doing on likes over there, Ken? I really been paying attention to YouTube. He's probably sleeping. He's sleeping the freaking job again, isn't he?
No, okay, he's up there. He's on there. All right. Well, that was a good show. We'll bring this out no matter what. That was a fun one. That was a good. You guys get a chance. Scott E. Bowser. Look for Scott E. Bowser because there's apparently a Scott Bowser that writes a lot of children's books. Not the same thing. Not the same guy.
Not writing about
Completely
the same thing.
completely different books.
Not writing
Completely
about the
different
same
books.
things.
Scott E. Bowser.
All right. So just like that, we are off.
We will see you guys in 3 weeks.
Stay wild.
We're the renegades with beards on our chin. Lou and Darren, where do we begin? Broadcasting loud from the midnight den. Hour of the wolf, we strike again. Achieving rebels in the sonic space. With tales of battles and a gritty grace. Riding the night, yeah, we leave no trace. Hour of the wolf, in your face. Join the pack, howl at the moon. Voices raw, breaking through gloom. Hour of the wolf, we own this room. Tune in now, hear the sonic boom. Microphones hot.